Como sin quererme yo te quiero y te adoro, si no me amas y tus besos solo espero. ¿Cómo puedo amarte ardientemente si en tus ojos al mirarme veo nieve solamente? Como tu desprecio y desvío, digo que son locos desvaríos. ¿Cómo puede ser que no quiera ver de tu corazón ausente?
Welcome everybody to our episode number 29 of Around the World in 80 Tangos. Today we have the honor to fulfill a wish of one of our donators, Cornelia. Yo no sé por qué te quiero, Francisco Canaro.
This is a recording of 1934. The music written by Francisco Canaro himself, lyrics Ivo Pelay, and the voice Ernesto Fama.
Ivo Pelay was a quite big number in this time.
Ivo Pelay was a really prolific author. He started to write theater pieces in 1911, La Mala Vida, The Bad Life, or The Hard Life. And in his 50 years career, he wrote more than 200 pieces, musical comedies, all kinds of dramas, lots of things. He was a journalist, and he wrote more than 100 lyrics of tangos, waltzes, and milongas. Among those, Se dice de mi, we had this with Tita Merello and Francisco Canaro. And a big part of his work was in cooperation with Francisco Canaro.
I don't know. I don't know why I love you. I don't know why I adore you when I see that your always cold eyes are not reflected in my eyes. I don't know why I love you and adore you so. I don't know why that is. How can I believe all your lies if you don't kiss me when I kiss you? And when I look at you, you won't look at me. Like when I look in your eyes and I see that you're not in love. You pretend and I believe. How can I live shackled in your falsehood and your mouth that is so far from mine? Though I know I will never win your love, I'm asking you for that favor. How can I love you so much when I have the certainty that I'm with you just because you feel sorry for me? Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, this is a topic. You need to know how to suffer. In Argentine movies, we have actors, actresses who were specialized in suffering, like Libertad Lamarck. She was like focused on the role of the brave wife who was abandoned by her husband for a younger woman, and so she was suffering. Or Hugo del Carril, he has famous suffering scenes in Argentine movies.
they even have a special name for this.
Yeah, sufrida or sufrido. So somebody who who knows to suffer.
This number was part of a music comedy.
Yes, together with Canaro, Ivo Pelay wrote La Canción de los Barrios, the song of the quarters, of the hoods. And the main singer in this piece was Ignacio Corsini, the great competitor of Carlos Gardel. And normally, Canaro used to publish the song beforehand on the radio or on record to let the audience get acquainted with the lyric. So in this case, some weeks before the piece was premiered in the Teatro Sarmiento in Buenos Aires, they published this song, sung by Ernesto Fama, and some weeks later he also recorded it with Ignacio Corsini.
Ernesto Fama.
Ernesto Fama, a well-known singer from the 20s and 40s. He toured with Fresedo to Europe. He sang with Orquesta Típica Victor. He was with Juan Canaro, the brother of Francisco and Canaro himself. In 1930 and 31, he stayed with the sexteto Carlos Di Sarli.
But the biggest success he had with Francisco Canaro, right?
Definitely.
Let's have some words to Canaro. We already talked a lot about Canaro in a previous episode, but few words to Canaro.
Yeah, he was a true pioneer of the genre. I recall his stories of his early times when he performed with a trio in Los Ranchos, close to Buenos Aires, together with a guitar player named Rodolfo Duclos, who later became the bass player of Rondarienzo. And they played in places where the audience was rough, so to speak. And there were always somebody at the entrance, a policeman. And people who wanted to enter the milonga, they had to leave their guns and knives and whatever they had. And if they were too drunk, they also were not allowed to get in.
But before we come to this story, Canaro also recorded a lot of other stuff than tango, milonga and waltz.
Yes, he had a big heart musically. So he recorded nearly 4,000 numbers, although in his autobiography, Mis bodas de oro con el tango, My Golden Marriage, 50 years with tango, he claimed of having recorded nearly 8,000 numbers, but I think this is a miscount. I don't believe it. And so, for example, in 1926-27, he had a so-called jazz band, and they recorded mainly foxtrots, pasodobles, maxiches. So he was a commercial guy. He was always looking for things that sold or might sell.
And he was one of the richest guy in this time. In
Yes, he
Brazil.
was quite successful. The only exception was his engagement in movies, where he had losses, but the rest he really had a good hand and made a lot of money. So rich as Canaro, or richer than Canaro, was a saying in Argentina.
Okay, and now the last story for today.
Yes, when they played in Los Ranchos, they played on a palco. Palco is like a platform above, and later the background of the platform had a round form like a shell, so that the sound would really be addressed to the audience. And this palco was above the entrance of the bar, and then there was a shooting while there were the musicians on the palco. So one of the bullets hit the violin of Canaro, and then the musicians panicked and they wanted to go away, and then the dueño, the owner of the place, persuaded them, and then he armed the palco with metal plates to make them bulletproof. Those were the times.
With this little story of Francisco Canaro, we say goodbye from episode number 29, Around the World in 80 Tangos. Today we had Yo no sé por qué te quiero, and we fulfill a wish of Cornelia. And if you want that we will have a little traveling through a song that you love, you can donate something to us and then write us your wish and we will fulfill.
Yes. So again, the data, Yo no sé por qué te quiero, I don't know why I love you, 1934, Francisco Canaro music, Ivo Pelay lyrics, the singer Ernesto Fama.
Thank you for traveling with us through tangos we love. We hope you enjoyed.
Daniela und Raimund, Tango Mundo, Berlin.
Take care, stay healthy.
Bye bye.
Thank you.